Hello, folks, and welcome to this episode of the Prophet Easy One. I've been up for like 45 of the last 48 hours, but I've been in the scriptures a lot. I've been doing a lot of research, and I'm going to bring you some more interesting stuff now. You're going to want to check this out. Let me start with a little bit of scriptures here from Daniel chapter 9. We have sinned and have committed iniquity, and have done wickedly, and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spoke in thy name, to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Lord, righteousness belongs to you, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass that they have trespassed against you. O Lord, to us belongs confusion of face, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against you. To the Lord our God belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he has set before us by his servants the prophets. Yes, all Israel has transgressed your law, even by departing, that they might not obey your voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him. Let me stop that for just a second. That goes back to when the Israelites went through the two mountains. And one was a mountain of blessing, and one was a mountain of cursing. And the Lord tells you there, like on the mountain of blessing, if you'll do this, this will happen. And if you do that, and it's just a progression, and how it just gets better and better. But on the curse mountain, it says that if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. And if you do that, this is going to happen. And it goes on and on. Some other time I may do a video about that. And I'm going to tell you, when I read that years ago, and that really helped put the fear of the Lord in me. Yeah, because I saw that those things that he said there were true because of what I'd been going through in my life. So maybe I will do a video. I want to try to keep this short because, man, I went deep into the rabbit holes doing some research on this, and it led me into a lot of other things, which maybe I'll cover in another video. I'm going to try to keep this one more succinct. But now, let's go back to this. And he has confirmed his words which he spoke against us, and against our judges that judge us, by bringing upon us this great evil. For under the whole heaven has not been done as has been done upon Jerusalem. As it is written in the law of the Moses, all this evil has come upon us, yet we didn't make our prayer before the Lord our God, that we might turn from our iniquities and understand the truth. Therefore has the Lord watched upon the evil and brought it upon us. For the Lord our God is righteous in all his works, which he does, but we obey not his voice. We got some bad things coming. Now, let me get into some of that here. We're going to be talking about the mark of the beast, about the RFID chip, and about Donald Trump, and about his family, and about George Soros. So I hope this will turn out to be an interesting and informative video. Okay, we're going to let that go there now. Now, man, I had so many notes because, like I said, I went into some deep holes. I'd hit one place and go, ooh, there's a leg, and I go down that tunnel and come back, go down another tunnel. But I'm going to try to keep this to the main topic here. And some things that I want to get across and that you need to know. And while I'm talking, let me find this thing here. And, I did that latest video about important prophetic event happening in the United States right now. And I'm sure a lot of people, I didn't have any dislikes on it, I don't think, but a lot of people, I'm sure they didn't like it because it said some bad things about Donald Trump. But hey, I gotta call it like it is, okay? And I'm gonna show you some more things about Donald Trump here. Because too many people are idolizing him and putting their total faith and trust in him. And man, they just love it when you do that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they love that. Not just because of their vanity, but because, and they know they got you. They got you tricked. And by feigned words, they'll make merchandise of you. Just like false apostles and false prophets and false teachers do. I'm not here to make merchandise of you. All right, so let's. I want to play this little speech again. This time it'll be a little more inclusive than the one I did on that last video. Now this is Donald Trump talking on his precursor to the mark of the beast. And I hope you've seen some of my videos on the mark of the beast. I will be putting some of my annotations. I think they're going to be up here. I was pointing this way last time, but when I put it in, it's actually on this side. So listen closely now to this speech that Donald Trump gave. Here we go. Here it's coming.
We will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately.
Biometric.
For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens.
They've been acting.
Never happens. Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. You ever notice?
Yeah, that's what they've done now.
In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
And I'm going to get into that.
Approximately half of new illegal immigrants came on temporary visas and then never ever left. Why should they? Nobody's telling them to leave. Stay as long as you want. We'll take care.
Well, speaking of that, I understand now that a whole lot of these migrants that have been coming through now, they're getting them and they don't have room for them. And they're doing like they've been doing. They're going ahead and giving them a court date, releasing them. You know, I knew they were going to be getting in here. I've been wondering what was going to happen. I'll tell you what, if I was president, I would tell them, and I know this may sound cruel, but my obligation would be to defend our borders. That is the president's obligation. I would let them know plenty ahead of time. You come, and you come over, we will shoot you. And I'll tell you, once you shoot a couple of them, the rest are going to say, man, I'm going to stay here in Mexico. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be bad for Mexico. It's already cost them a lot of money. It's going to cost them a lot more. They'd have been better off to try to stop them at that border. But you see, it's all part of the UN deal. And there's a bunch of people behind that, including some people we're going to talk about here in this video. All right, now, let me see. Let me get this back here because I know I'm going to need it. Uh-oh, what happened? Come on. And then we're going to get into some things here. Come on. Alrighty. Where do I start? We're going to start, I guess, with talking about, since this is a lot to do with the mark of the beast, we're going to start with Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, and his chief advisor. He had 3 advisors, and Jared was the chief one. And by the way, he's the one that Donald said that he's going to make that peace deal with Israel. And you know, what the scriptures say is that it'll be a 7-year peace deal, but it'll be broken in the middle of that time. And I don't want to get into that too much here. That's something I got to get into in another video sometime, because a lot of people have asked me questions about that, because there are some very confusing things there in Daniel. And I want to make it plain and clear so you'll understand it. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, you should, because I'm going to be constantly revealing things to you. But let's get into this. All right, Jared Kushner. You know, he bought a building in New York City. The address is 666 Fifth Avenue. 666. Okay. And it's only a 41-story tall building. And New York's got all kind of tall buildings. In fact, it's not even in the top 100 just for New York City. It's not that big of a building. But it does have underground paths that'll take you to another building that he bought, the Rockefeller Center. Now, keep in mind, the Rockefellers are big in the New World Order system, okay? But he's got underground tunnels going there, to the United Nations. He's got underground tunnels, and to other places. And he was wanting to make more that goes to other buildings. And in the top of this building, he's got a private club. Ooh. If the walls could talk, I'd love to hear what's going on there and find out some of those people who are going there. But I don't care about that. But wow, what a story that place would have to tell. But now, let me see. Oh, and here's the thing. Even though it's not that big of a building, he paid, it was the biggest purchase for a building in New York City at the time. There'd been one sold like a month before that had been the biggest, and he paid $1.8 billion for this building, the largest real estate purchase in New York City. And to pay that much for it, wow, gotta be some kind of reasons. And really, like a lot of people said, who would want to even buy a building that had an address of 666? All right, now, let's see. Where are we going to go from here? Yeah, let's, well, let's back up a little before we get back into the building. Now, Jared Kushner's dad was a real estate investor, like Jared was. I guess it is. And, he was convicted of felony for, like, tampering with witnesses and for bribing politicians, which Donald did it too. I mean, you know, when he was running for president, he said he knew how the system worked because he'd been there and done that. So he's very familiar with it. And think about it. You know, I've said things like this many times. Why do people go out and spend millions and millions of dollars to run for president, to get a job that I'm not sure what it pays now? I think it's under $400,000, I think. Although you do get a good retirement, you know, you're getting your free housing and some other things. But why are you going to spend all those millions for a job that just pays little like that? Unless you really wanted to do good for this country. But let me tell you, what Donald and just about every politician is doing, it's not that they're doing good for their people, but they're doing good for their family, themselves, and their friends. I'm going to get into some more of that. Well, I'm glad I'm going to leave a lot of this out. I've gone so long already. So, let me see. What do we got here? Oh, like I said, his dad, I think it was Charles Kushner, was a real estate investor, went to jail. And that's when Jared had to take over the real estate company, you know, a little prematurely, but he did. And let's see. Oh, and speaking of bribing, his dad bribing, you know, Jared went to, I don't remember the college now, like an Ivy League college. And in order to get him in there, his dad bribed them too. He gave them something like $2.4 million, I believe it was, to take Jared as a student, because Jared's grades and other things did not qualify him for that place. So, boy, yeah, his dad was all into bribery. And you know what? Usually the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. All right, so keep that in mind now. Let's see. I don't want to get into all this. Oh, yeah, let me get into a little of it. A couple years ago, well, first off, here's probably why he paid the 1.8 billion, why it was so expensive. You know, oftentimes, especially if you got connections like some lawyers and stuff that'll do things for you, what you do is you overfinance a building, and you get to keep some of the money when you buy it. So instead of you putting up money, you pull a bunch of money out of it. But see, now all of a sudden he's stuck with the big mortgage payments, and the building was 25% unoccupied. That's 75% is a bad occupancy rate. It wasn't even enough to cover the interest on the loan. So he went out seeking partners around the world, and some of the partners he was seeking to join him were pretty much, they were countries, governments, and they weren't, some of them weren't what I would consider good friendly governments. And let me see. Oh, I don't want to get into all of this, but I'll tell you part of this. Now, one of the companies, what he did, let me get to this here. He went to, well, first the Chinese group had offered him, remember, he paid 1.8 billion. The Chinese group offered him 2.85 billion. And part of that, which was, they say, way above what it was worth. So, wonder what was going on there. Plus, they would allow Jared to pay off his bill at 20 cents on the dollar. So, like a little bribery and coercion there. You know, this super sweet deal. And I guess the media and stuff caught on to it, and it didn't look good, especially with him being presidential advisor, like maybe he's going to be selling influence. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because people buy out politicians all the time. They're all sellouts. All right, so because of that, yeah, the Chinese company refused to do it, and they actually denied that they'd even tried to work out a deal, which was a lie, you know, but they do lie. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute, too. All right. And there was a lot of other things about the building. I'm not going to cover all of that. I want to get into now. See, now the building is called Citibank Building. And, you know, Citibank and all those major banks, you know, they're all crooked, too. Yeah. And, of course, they would like to see the mark of the beast. Yeah. And, of course, so would the government. That way, man, they know everything you made. They make sure they're going to get their taxes up front. And if they decide to raise them, whatever, and if you complain, they'll cut you off. And here's the thing. They're going to do like what they're doing in China right now. You know, China, they have this girl there. She's been in a movie with, who was it, Bruce Willis or somebody very famous. And she's like the highest paid movie star from China. And she's supposed to be in another upcoming movie. And they've decided not to make the movie because she can't get in and out. Because what China did, see, they have what they call like a rating system. You know, everybody's kind of like chipped there. They've got their stuff. And you get a, what do you call it? It's not a financial rating like you might get from a bank. It's like a personal character type rating, according to what they like. And they like it if you bow down and kiss the government's feet and other parts. And this girl wasn't doing it. She was speaking out a little. You know, she'd been to America and she'd traveled something. Very, very beautiful Chinese woman. And what they did is because she was rated real low on their scale because she was outspoken. So all of a sudden she disappeared. Even her managers and stuff didn't know what had happened. Well, they put her in jail for over 3 months. And then what they did, because of everybody asking so many questions and stuff, they released her. I think she did a little over 3 months in there. And they released her. And now they're saying She owes them, like $100 million in taxes. And she only has a short time to pay that. And they know there's no way she can come up with it. But at least now they'll have a legitimate reason before the public, even though it's a lie that she doesn't owe that kind of money, but they'll have a good reason to throw her back in jail and shut her up. In this country, we have all these FEMA camps. That's how they're going to do it. Oh, and by the way, the United States just ordered, we already have 30,000 guillotines in this country. Those were bought in China, from China. And now FEMA went to Mexico and ordered 16,000 new blades. They're 15 by 30 by a quarter inch with a 17-degree angle. That's razor sharp. That's sharp. And FEMA's doing that. Now, let me tell you a little something about FEMA while we're here. FEMA is an autonomous organization with no oversight, not from the president, not from Congress, not from anybody, because they are part of the New World Order people. That's their people in here to run things and to take over things. They want to take over everything. They want to make slaves out of you. And they got all these FEMA camps. Now they've gone and bought a whole bunch more razors for the chopping block. And it says in Revelation that those who don't take the mark of the beast, which is what we're going to get into right now in just a minute, that they will be beheaded. Okay? That's what's going to happen. And they're setting it up. And, oh, wow. Okay. Let me see. Where do I want to go? Let me see if I got this part cleared up first. Yeah, I think that's okay there. Now, let's go, like I said, one of the tenants there is Citicorp. Actually, that's the major tenant there. But another tenant there is Lucent Technologies. Let me see. I won't even bother looking for that right now. But they ended up, Nokia bought them. And guess who owns Lucent? Well, before I tell you that, now Lucent Technologies has a patent on the RFID chip. Now this is in Jared Kushner's building, the president's son-in-law. And you heard that speech. He's going to be sure that goes through. And I guarantee you, a whole lot of politicians are all invested in that. But let me tell you who bought that in 2016. George Soros. George Soros. Well, I watched so much stuff on him, I mean, a lot of it I've seen before, but like, they gave an interview where, I saw excerpts from his book. What a wicked, evil man. He talked about how, I don't want to get into all that, but he thought he was a god. Even from a kid, he had these fantasies of being God. And basically, he looks at a real God. He puts them below scientists for sure, but he thinks he's a god. And he said he's gotten to act that out too in his lifetime. His fantasies have come true. But you know what? What does it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? And he's on his way to hell. Oh yeah, and you know what? The good thing is, at his age now, he doesn't have much longer to go. And let me tell you this too. He's behind the 5G system. He's the one for the EU, been setting up the 5G system all over. And no doubt he's behind it here in this country. And, England pulled out of the EU because of the Brexit thing. Well, George Soros put up 400,000 pounds to get opposition to fight that. Although the British were smart and got out of it. But see, he's putting the 5G system all over Europe. They're putting it all over this country. And I'm going to tell you now why that they're doing it. You know, they tell you it's for things like better police communications, so they'll have their own channels and stuff. I think for the most part, they already have those. I know that I've seen them in certain locations. And, but what they're really going to be for, you know, in that speech there that the president did, he said they'll have you on land, sea, and air. And that's by using these 5G systems. That's how they're going to be tracking people. Oh, and they're putting them everywhere. And a lot of them are hidden. And not only that, they have so much security around them. They have electrified fences, barbed wire. The cables that run them are much more heavily protected than other things. They got cameras watching them all. Yeah, think about it. Why would they want to do that? I'm going to tell you, that's for the RFID thing. And the thing is about those two, oh yeah, they've already proven that they do produce cancer. And it's a lot worse than the cell phone stuff. Many, many, many times worse. The type of waves that they use and the size of them. So it's going to be very bad for your health. They've proven it causes cancer, it causes cataracts, it can cause heart problems. It messes with your immune system. A whole lot of things. But keep in mind, they want to get rid of a lot of people. And they're especially going to want to get rid of the people like me, who I got God as my ruler. I'm not bowing down, bending my knee to this government. Not while they're corrupt. And still, I wouldn't bend my knee to them, but at least I'd honor them. You know, right now, I still have to honor them on some things, but they're not honorable. Okay, let me see here. Oh, yeah. I don't think I got to this, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Oh, no, let me go here. We're going to go to Psalms. Before I go too much farther here. Psalms chapter 10. And verses 3 through 10, or maybe 2 through 10. Now this is about the greedy, okay? Because we're talking about greedy people. Like one of the things that George Soros said was that he's out there to make money. He doesn't care what kind of problems it does to other countries. And he's already brought down the economies of Singapore, Russia, Japan, and 2 or 3 other countries, and he did that all within 2 years and was laughing and so proud of himself for doing it. Like I said, he thinks and feels like he's a god. But see, he's going to die, and he's going to know then that he's just a man. He isn't a god. Yeah, and the Bible speaks about that. And then when I get into doing a video on the rich, I'll be bringing you those verses and a whole lot more. We're not going to get into all that here. But let's see here. I think we got a lot of this, so. But you see, there's a lot of nepotism going on in the Trump family. Just like with the Bush family, Clinton families, royalties, and all these people in England and in Europe, you know, they get up there in control, and they want to stay in control, and they want to take all your money and make themselves rich and make a name for themselves. But you know what? Oh, I should have looked that scripture up for you too. But what it says is that they think that that's going to go on forever. This is the last generation. We're in the last generation. Yeah. And their money's going to perish with them. And they're going to go to hell. Maybe there'll be more of that when I want to do a video on the rich with warnings for them. I hope you saw my Steve Jobs video with the things that he said on his deathbed and how it related to the Bible. Too bad for that guy. You know, he lived a good life while he was here. That was his reward. And now the reward that he's going to get is to be put in hell. You know, on his deathbed, he said, now all I see is the darkness of death approaching. A Christian, he's one of those that has no hope, as it says in Thessalonians. When he dies, all his hope is gone. God says, while you're living, there's still hope. That's why you need to become one of the sealed and one of the elect while you're still living. Because once you die, it's too late. And like I said, all the prayers in the world aren't going to change a thing once you die. I see all the time people, I saw one today where somebody said, my mother just, cancer got her. Will people please pray for her? Then they're wasting their time. Like God says, let the dead bury the dead. Hey, they're dead, and there's nothing else you can do for them now. It's like an old roommate of mine, you say, hey, give me my flowers while I'm still alive. And you put them on my grave, I don't even get to smell them. So do what you can for yourself and for others while they're still alive. All right, let me see. Let's get into, let me look at this first. And then we're going to get into some things about the Trump family. Some more stuff. Well, one thing is, like I said, yeah, I'm going to get to that in just a minute. Yeah, here's what Soul said in his book. I fancied myself as some kind of God. And what else did he say? He says, I carried some rather potent messianic fantasies with me from childhood. These are quotes now. And he said, and my success in business protects me. Yeah, so let's get into this here, because that'll be covered in here. This is about the greedy. I'll go through a few verses here. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Now see, this is one of the imprecatory prayers from Psalms. The book of Psalms is a wonderful book. If you're having problems, things aren't going right in your life, that's a good book to read, because David had his problems. They were pursuing him, looking to kill him for a long time, even though he's a totally righteous guy. And his own government turned on him, even though he was supporting his government. That's what's going to happen again, too. All right, and the reason that he did it was nepotism, because he knew that David, I think he knew at this time, that David, no, I don't know if he didn't know it at this time, maybe he did. David was going to be anointed as king, But Saul wanted his son to become king after him. But his son and he both died in battle. And that's when David, who'd already been anointed as a child, did go in to take up the throne. All right, so the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire, and blesses the covetous, whom the Lord abhors. He hates covetous people. Thou shalt not covet, one of the 10 commandments. You want to get what somebody else's. And that's what these people do. They want to come and get what's yours. That's what governments do. Yeah, they don't really go out and work for their money. Ooh, I'd love one of my, I will, I think, that, Lord willing, there's a video I'm going to do and show you a whole bunch of that. Yeah, with the word of the Lord and with my testimony, because all the things I've been through in my life with these people. It's like I say, the Lord is my God. They're not my God. The wicked through his pride, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God's not in all his thoughts. Let me tell you, God's in all my thoughts. Anything I'm going to do, stuff, the Lord is in my thoughts. I walk with God. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffs at them. Oh yeah, because, well, we won't get into that right here. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. That's how George Soros feels. And it's because of all their money. They think that their money, that's why Hillary Clinton isn't in jail. Part of the reason. It says his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sits in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lies in wait secretly as a lion. In his den, he lies in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws him into his net. He crouches and humbles himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. Like I said, this is what George Soros does. And so does some of the Trump family. It says, he has said in his heart, God is forgotten. He hides his face. He'll never see it. Arise, O Lord God. Lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. We're going to stop it at that. I'm not going to keep going with that because I'm going to get back to this. But that's these wicked, wealthy people who they're never satisfied. They're greedy. They're like some of these other things that are never satisfied. Like a flame is never satisfied. As long as there's fuel for it to get, it's going to want to keep burning and burning. And that's how these people are, because the Bible says that the man who seeks silver will never be satisfied with silver. In other words, they're going to want more and more and more. You know, I knew this one preacher. He was talking to a multimillionaire. And the multimillionaire says, man, I made up to 5 million now, and I can't wait to get my 6 million. And the preacher says to him, man, I just had my 5th child, and I think that's enough for me. But you see, the man who seeks silver will never be satisfied with silver. And remember how the rich, they're the ones that oppress the poor. The Bible says they're the ones that take you to court. You know, they're the ones that sue you and everything. Because they want to take what you got or not have to give you what they owe you is another thing. Like, look at all the times Trump declared bankruptcy. Trump's an adulterer. He's on his, 3rd wife, I guess? And he knows how many women he was and maybe still is messing around with in between. All right, let's see. Oh, and by the way, here's another thing they do. See, George Soros, he formed these investment funds where the elite invest with him. And that's how he gets the money to do things like putting up all these 5G systems and everything. And that's why, if you listen again to that speech, when he's talking about instituting this biometric ID, you hear the crowd clapping. It's because that's probably a bunch of the elite in that particular crowd, and they're invested in all that. And he's letting them know, yeah, your investment's going to pay off soon. It's going to come through. But these people who are investing with Soros, at least at the time he wrote his book, they were getting returns of over 35%, almost 36% from his main company, and some of them were getting even more than that. How are they doing that? That's a lot to be getting, huh? Yeah, it's because he's tied in and he buys out politicians and he buys out corporations and he bribes people. That's why Rothschild said he didn't care who was ruling a country as long as he controlled the money supply, because then he can get done whatever he wants. And let me tell you, he's one of them ones lying in wait, sitting in the wings. The Rothschild family, they got all these puppets working for him. And George Soros probably is one of them. I guarantee you they're friends and they're in cahoots. Yeah, those Rothschilds, if you look at them and hear them speak, oh, they look like such nice, gentle people. God says, judge not by appearance, but judge righteous judgment. All right, let's see. Told you how the 5G tied into RFID, it causes cancer. Yeah, let's go to that. We're talking about the mark of the beast here. Go to Revelation 16. Whoops. Because like I said, these things, they will cause cancer. Oh, and they've done a bunch of research for many years now on these RFID chips. And some people deny that they can cause cancer, and others say There's several doctors who've done years of research, like 10 or more years of research, and yes, they cause cancer. And the waves that come from this 5G system, boy, they tested it on a lot of animals. Yeah, they cause cancer and a bunch of other things. Yep. And they want to have that all over. It's going to be an invisible smog that you won't be breathing. But one of the worst things that it gets is it gets your skin and it gets your eyes, because those are exposed and sensitive. They're on the outer layers. And when you put that mark, let's get to this. It's 16, Revelation 16:2. It's talking about the angels that go out in the last days. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So all these people who take this mark, which probably going to be a chip. Oh yeah, because the president wants to make his son even richer. They're about one. And of course, like I say, he's invested with them to soar a whole lot of the other elite. They can't wait for this to get through so that they can rake up. Because, you got to pay to get the thing. And it's a long story here. But noisome and grievous sores. Now, I explained that in another video. Man, that's really nasty stuff. Nasty, nasty, nasty. That's what that means. Those sores are going to be bad. And one of the definitions of it is painful. And in another place that he says that when he pours out, there'll be darkness upon all those rulers who are behind us, and all them that have the mark of the beast, and that they'll be agonizing in pain. Yeah, it's because they take that chip. I've said it, and a lot of people say, you do not want to take it. You'd rather die, because you're going to die anyway if you take it. But you're going to go through so much, and not only will you die, then you will go to hell. Yep, there's no doubt about it. This is where the patience and the faith of the saints comes in. And a lot of people will be killed. Many will be beheaded because of it. But what it says in Revelation is, once that mark of the beast is instituted, anyone who's killed after that, because they refuse to take it, you get a special place in heaven. Yeah, you get really blessed. So don't take that mark. By then, hey, doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're a child or in your 80s, you only got 3.5 more years to live, maybe, at the most. So do not take that mark. All right. Now, and by the way, Social's tied all into AT&T and Verizon. They're all in on the program because of what? Because of money. The love of money is the root of all evil. And it really is. I used to wonder about that when I read it in the Bible many years ago. And now, after observation and checking it out for all these years, yeah, it's the root of all evil. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get back into the Trump family a little bit. All right. Right now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, please make a comment down below if you can tell me about this. And I started to spend more time with this, but right now it's like 6:30 in the morning. It's getting light out there. And like I say, I've been up for 45 of the last 48 hours. Just had to fix another cup of coffee so I could come in here and do this. And I did not feel like it. I took a shower. I was going to put this off, but I'm getting it to you now. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, right now I believe there's a lot of nepotism going on. I think his wife actually has a position. His daughter has a position. Now, she's a fashion designer and all this stuff, and a businesswoman. And she's saying that she's turned all her, her big stuff over to someone else to run it so that she's not involved, so that she looks clean. Well, who'd she turn it over to? Family members. You think she doesn't still have control of it? I wouldn't bet on that. And her brother Joshua, he did the same thing. He's turned his stuff over to somebody else. Who? Family members. So that they can disassociate themselves in the eyes of the public. They don't tell you that it's family members they've turned it over to. It's not some company they hired to run their stuff. And believe me, they're still in control. They're not supposed to. It's an ethics violation, but they are. And actually, it's a violation to do the what do I call it there? You know, when you're hiring your family, nepotism in there. And Trump said, well, I don't think it's illegal not to have for my what I call those three main guys, which Jared is one of them, for his advisors. He said, oh, now it shouldn't be illegal for advisors. Well, yes, it is. It's illegal. Like I said, the laws apply to us, but not to them. Otherwise, Hillary would have been dead a long time ago. She'd been hanging from a rope. So with Bill Clinton, Lynn, probably Comey, all of them, they go under different laws from what we do. Yeah, but see, they're all in cahoots because, you know, these people, the scriptures say that they do all these wicked things and they take pleasure in those who do them. So they're not going to want to stop other people either because they're going to say, wow, look, these people did it and they're getting all rich from it. We're going to do it too. And they're getting away with it. Shoot, now we can get away with it. We can get rich. The love of money is the root of all evil. And they don't care about you. And, you know, George Soros, as a child in the war, he was a Jew. And he sold out all his people. Oh, he sold his people out. He doesn't care. He was just cracking up when they asked him, did he really bring down all those economies? And he was like, yeah, I did. Aren't you proud of me? Yeah, man, I'm a little god. Yeah, he's going to find out, like I said. All right, let's stay back here with this family. So that's just a little bit of it. Now, here's another thing. Oh, yeah. Let me get back, get this, some scriptures dug up here for you. Oh, well, I'm in Revelation now, so that'll make it easy. We'll go to Revelation chapter 2 first. I'm going to get you something from Revelation chapter 3. All right. Excuse me. Getting hiccups. Okay. Oh, one more verse. All right. Now, what was I get to? Like I said, I've been up all this time. I was debating on whether I should do this or not, or take a long nap and then get up. Oh, all right. Trump's sons are married to Jewish women. Ivanka converted to a Jew in order to marry Jared, who's supposed to be a Jew. And Ivanka considers herself a Catholic Jew. Oh boy, she's really got it bad. Not because of a Jew, because she's not a true Jew. You know, you don't just decide, oh, okay, I'm just calling myself a Jew now. God says a true one is one not who's circumcised by the flesh. I mean, not somebody who just says they are, but somebody who's circumcised in the heart. That's what it is. All right, so where was I here? Oh, and his other daughter is dating a Jewish fella. But those aren't really Jews. You know, they make a bad name for others. And so everywhere on the internet and stuff, people are bad-mouthing Jews. They're blaming the Jews for everything. These aren't Jews. These are people from the synagogue of Satan. These are people who worship, they don't worship God. Jews worship God. They may not worship Jesus. The Messianic Jews do. And you're going to see that's where the 144,000 comes in. But we're not going to get into that right now. Maybe some other time. But, like I said, it's late enough. Okay, here we go. Like I said, these are fake Jews. They say they're Jews. Here's what God says. I know your works and tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. That's ain't me. I'm living in poverty, but I'm rich. I'm rich in all these things that they don't have. They have money, but they don't have the things that I got. It says, you're rich. He says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they're Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. And now let's go to chapter 3, where he speaks about them again. It's funny, it comes out to be the same verse in chapter 2 and chapter 3. He says, behold, remember, these people were the synagogue of Satan. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. They're liars. They're all of them. They're liars. God said it. I believe it. And that settles it. Yeah. Just him saying it. Even if I don't believe it, that settles it, because it's true. But yeah, they're Jews and do lie. But he says, behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, and to know that I love thee. And I don't want to get too deep into that right now. I did cover some things in that last video. I hope you saw it. It deals with prophecy happening now in America, because I planted some seeds in there about what we're going to be doing in the future. You know, like it says, we shall be doing great exploits. And it is really, and I'm going to show you this in another video sometime, it is up to us to put the Lord's enemies under his feet. Yep, it is. Yeah, I'll show you that. All right, let's see here. What else I have here? I meant to cover this thing earlier, because we're going to get back to the family again in just a minute. Let me get back here to Daniel. Might be too late to cover this now, but probably better to throw it in there. And you initially, this is like the video I did last night. I planned to do just a 4 or 5 minute thing, and I got to thinking and going, and man, I have so many pages of notes, and some of this will be for a different video if I decide to do that, which would be on George Soros. I don't really think I need to do that, but this one I do, because I'm talking about our commander-in-chief, the man who runs this country, and about his family. All right, let me see if I've missed anything. I don't think so. But I was going to Daniel. Be there in just a minute. Going to chapter 8. Let's see if we're going to bother covering this right now. Well, I'm getting warm now from that coffee. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Because see, I was mentioning how Trump put his son-in-law Jared in charge of making that peace plan in the Middle East. Oh, and by the way, this is how bad that the guy is. When he had some investors. I'm not going to go through it all right now, but I'll just tell you this much about it. They wanted to tear this 666 building down and put in a big, much bigger building, and actually take out another like whole block to give them a view of the park and everything. But it was going to be a lot of money, like 12 to 14 billion dollars. They needed to raise the financing. And so he went to Qatar, to the finance minister. That's where Jared went to get it. And they refused it. And the next thing you know, they were having all kind of diplomatic turmoil. I don't know if you remember that happening. It was just in 2017, like September or something like that, 2017. Jared Kushner was behind that. He used his position in the White House and to get behind that to keep them screwed up because they didn't give him money. Oh, he's not a good guy. Well, you should know that already based on some of the things that I've said. I want to cover a little bit more things here, but let's get into this. Because he's the one that Trump said he will make that peace deal. And in the later time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully and shall prosper. Oh yeah, they make money off of wars. And practice and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And I've told you that during the tribulation, that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to be coming after the holy people because they're all wicked. They don't want the holy people around. They want nothing but wicked people around. It says, and through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many, and shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be destroyed and broken without hand. So this guy, they got him working out this peace deal. And the one who works out this peace, well, I'm not going to get into that now. That's another video sometime. But there is something else I do want to get into. You see, Jared has another brother. I'm going to tell you why. You know, Trump said basically he was kind of going to like get rid of Obamacare. You know, seriously reduce it and get rid of it. I'm going to tell you now why that he didn't. He said he was going to, but politicians like these people of the synagogue of Satan, but they do lie. Let me see. Where do I have those? Oh, it's over here somewhere. All right. Now, Jared's brother, Joshua, he was an IT man. All right. And he was investing in like, you know, internet type companies. And all of a sudden, he decides to get in the healthcare business with two other young elitists. And the three of them formed this, actually they formed two healthcare companies. One that deals with old folks' homes, you know, especially people with, we'll put it this way, the ones that have, and I believe this is in the Obamacare bill now, the ones that have Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and another thing, they all get chipped. So see, they're keeping it all in the family. And they want to promote this chip because it makes them money. And check it. And he also, they started a health insurance company. Now these were IT people, and they're fairly young yet. And all of a sudden, the three of them formed these two healthcare companies, a health insurance company and the old folk homes companies. And, you know, I'm sure they got a lot of elitists investing with them because they know they're going to make money because they got the inside connections. So, yeah, one of the companies is called Oscar. That's their abbreviations. That's the acronym. But there were, here, let me get it here. Put it this way. Out of the many hundreds of companies that were competing for the Obamacare contract, who do you think got it? If you said Joshua Kushner and his two partners, you're right. That's who got it. Instead of giving it to all these well-established companies, these guys go out and just do a little startup company, and boom, they got the contract. That is why Donald Trump did not get rid of the Obamacare bill. All right. I'm going to leave it at that. But I give you something to think about. You know, they got all this cronyism, greed, nepotism. Yep, their cronies, their families, their greed. Don't trust them. You can't trust them. Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm sure I'm gonna get some comments on this one, but I hope that you hear what I said and take heed. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, I suggest you do, because I got so many other things that I'm gonna give you. I just can't do it all at once. Like I said, I just wish that y'all, that like Moses said, oh, that they were all prophets. You all need to be reading, not just reading, you need to be studying your Bible. The Lord says, study, devote yourself to study until I return. So, study your Bible. Pray, folks. The Lord says, pray that you will be found worthy to escape all these things. Because when they come out looking for people, those who don't take the mark of the beast, and they will be wanting to come and guillotine you. Why do you think they built all these FEMA camps? Hillary was saying that liar, Hillary, I like calling her. Oh yeah, we're going to make adult camps, fun camps for people. Yeah, it's probably what they told the Jews. The Nazis said, oh yeah, we're going to take you to this nice place, we're going to take you out of this ghetto that we forced you to be into. And that's what they're trying to do now with Agenda 21 or 20, or maybe it's the 2031. They want to put everybody in these little communities. And that could be part of the reason that we're having all these fires in California, They want to put them all in these communities where now they got you close there. And from there, then it's much easier to keep track of you and to get you to the FEMA camps. All right. The other thing is, you need to turn away from your sins. The time's getting shorter and shorter. And I'm going to tell you what, sin will keep you away from God. That's why, like when Adam ended up eating from that fruit, when God came looking for him, he was hiding. And if you're sinning, you're going to have that guilt, and you're going to want to be hiding from God. So people, you need to repent. All right? He's coming for a bride without spot, blemish, or wrinkle. And he is coming. And he says, behold, I come quickly. Now, what he means by that, when that was written, it didn't mean I'm coming right now. What that means is when I start coming, then I'm going to come quickly. I'm going to hear the prayers of the saints. I'm going to see what all these wicked people are doing to my children, to my family. That's what he's going to be saying. And I'm going there now to get them. Yep. Yeah. What a glorious day that'll be. All right, folks. Hope I catch you on the next one. I hope you got some things out of this. I know for some of you, it's not things you wanted to hear, but it's things you need to hear. Unless you are one of those wicked people. If you are, you're one of those, you're probably not going to be here anyway unless you want to check me out. Yeah, because they love to come after the righteous and try to catch them in their words and do things like that. And that's why they shut down a lot of these channels. You can say one little wrong thing, but they don't like you. They shut you down. So if that ever happens, I don't care. I've got stuff out there. I've done what I can so far, and I will continue to do what I can because that's my job.